Well, as I said at the start of the show, it's important to remember the forgotten women of Israel on this International Women's Day. Prominent female Israelis have released a video saying each of the 19 female captives' names still held by Hamas.
Nama,
Judy,
Noah, Romy, Carmel, Arbel,
Maya,
Eden, Inbar, Doron, Liri, Daniela, Shiri, Shani, Karina, Amit, Agam, Veofra.
And members of Australia's Jewish community have also gathered in Sydney today, calling to bring them home. Joining me now is Dr David Adler of the Australian Jewish Association. David, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's been 5 months held captive by Hamas terrorists, and we don't know still if these women or the captives in general are still alive, but the UN this week confirmed that Hamas has indeed used rape and sexual torture against the captives. This is an unfathomable situation.
Look, you're quite right, and that little video actually was very chilling for me personally. I can tell you that one of my cousins was murdered on October 7 at the Nova Music Festival, and I just haven't had the capacity to inquire about the details because we know some of the evidence of what Hamas did to young women. And I just hope she's one of the ones that was shot and died quickly. And you're right, they are largely forgotten. And there's now a slogan which is being used in the Jewish communities across the world, me too, except a Jew. Because I guess it's a play on the Me Too movement that was so prominent recently.
Let's talk more about that, because you're right, it's International Women's Day, yet the plight of these women in Israel has been largely ignored by some of the most prominent feminists and female activists. And as you said, this Me Too movement has gone silent, despite the fact Jewish women have been tortured and raped. Do you think that there are double standards at play here?
Undoubtedly double standards and undoubtedly hypocrisy. And I can tell you that within the last few hours, we learnt that Israel has made a formal objection to the silence to the United Nations, because there was a recent United Nations inquiry, you referred to it, which confirmed again what we already knew, the evidence of some of the most horrific sexual violence that has ever been seen. And Israel has written to Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, because he often calls out a whole range of issues, but since the UN's own report, he has said exactly zero. So it is double standards, it is hypocrisy, it is ugly, and I doubt it would have happened to any other minority group on earth that had gone through what these Jewish women have gone through.
It's absolutely appalling, and it's quite frankly unacceptable, to say the least. Now, David, there are reports a ceasefire deal that would see Israeli hostages freed in more than 3 months is unlikely to happen by the start of Ramadan. The US had been hoping for better progress, but how do you see this playing out now?
Well, it was very interesting to learn about the excuse that Hamas gave. Because Israel is aware that there are 134 still missing people. Exactly how many of those are alive is not clear. One estimate is that 101 may still be alive, others have been murdered. But the excuse that Hamas gave was that they don't know. They don't have a list that they can provide to Israel. So in negotiations, when Israel was trying to negotiate an arrangement, they couldn't even clearly identify what it is that the negotiations are about, what the list of people to be freed. Really, the first step in reaching any peace agreement, any ceasefire has to be the complete release of these innocent hostages.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. David Adler, thank you so much for joining us on the program this evening.
And thank you for putting a bit of a spotlight on it when so many have ignored it.